So what these do is these things are all tied together in a certain theme, and that will hopefully come together soon for you. So what I would like you to do on your pieces of paper is I would like you to highlight these 4 chunks of language on your paper, just like I've done here. Okay? And I'm going to lower your hands now. Okay. We're going to come back to this a little bit later, so keep that paper handy. But we'll come back to it in a bit. First, we're going to try out another activity, which is 3.14 in the book. So if you have that, you can turn there. If you don't, then that's fine. You'll get it later. This activity provides us with target chunks. Unlike the last activity, this activity that you're looking at right now, 2.6, I believe, it gave me the skeleton for the activity in the book, and I actually chose the target chunks myself, and I wrote this myself, which of course you would probably have to do as a teacher as well.
I helped.
A little. Actually, the thing that you said about fire in the eyes, I deleted.
Oh yeah,
I'm
you
sorry.
didn't use it.
No.
It
was too
enough.
cheesy. Anyhow, let's move on. So we're going to try out activity 3.14, which does provide us with target chunks, and incidentally, they're very similar to the ones we've used in this first activity. And this activity is called Seeing the Deep Logic of Word Partnerships. So what you can see are 4 words and some cute pictures that did come from the book. Commit, conduct, cause, and perform. Okay? And what I would like you to do is I'm going to show you another list now, and it comes from the workbook, worksheet from the book. And what you're going to do is try to take all of the partnerships that should go with these 4 words, and on your paper or on your notebook or in your mind, I would like you to match them up. So what goes with commit, what goes with conduct, what goes with perform, and so on. And while you do that, I want you to see if you can think of any general pattern in the kind of direct object that follows this verb. So you can think aloud because you're muted, so it doesn't matter. Okay. So there we are. I will give you 2 or 3 minutes maybe, and let's see if you can probably easily match up the 4 verbs and the objects. When you've done as much as you can, please raise your hand.
So can I just add that, because I was initially, when I first looked at this without hearing your instructions or anything, I was a little bit confused, but those words underneath commit, conduct, perform, cause are not in the correct column. So they're mixed up. Basically, you're just supposed to unmix them, so what actually goes with commit, what goes with conduct, what goes with perform.
Exactly. Like, yeah. Do you conduct arson? No. Right?
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
So again, once you've separated them into the 4 columns, then you can raise your hand, please.
Right. Now, obviously, for our purposes as teachers and native or near native speakers, we don't. This isn't necessarily a difficult aspect for us, but for the students, it's quite an interesting experiment and focus, and also for our purposes, trying to figure out what the logic of the work partnerships is. So I love the fact that it not only looks at the concrete collocations or these chunks, but it also looks at why these are actually chunked, which allows for greater learner autonomy after the lesson for them to start making these same, draw these same conclusions or ask these same questions about other chunks of language that they come across.
Exactly. And one thing that we might point out too, that with your class, of course, you might give them some hint at the beginning, by teaching the word conduct or perform, make sure they do understand that,
absolutely.
A conductor, for example, conducts an orchestra, right? A performer performs in front of many people, that type of thing. So those might be things you want to give to your students ahead of time so that they do have some guidance.
Sure.
Again, once you guys are finished, this should not be a difficult task. You can please raise your hand. I have 1 person, 2.
Okay.
Oh.
Especially if you've had a chance to think about the deep logic behind these as well. So
that really is a key factor in this activity.
Absolutely.
So we're at 5 out of 18 of you so far. And we are getting close to the time, so I'm going to say, too bad. So, uh, if we were in class together, then what I would have students do is I'd break them into groups of 4, and each of them would have their piece of foolscap and a marker with one of the 4 verbs written at the top. And students would then work together to remember as many chunks as they could without referring to their notes. Then we'd take it up as a class to see if they did actually match them up properly. And of course then at this point I would ask, what do you think the logic is behind the partnerships with commit, for example? Tanya, any idea? What do you think?
Don't rush me.
Answer now.
Commit, illegal activity. I think it probably goes with things that we're not really supposed to do, or things that you could get in trouble with by the law.
Okay, well, let's test that theory, right? We have commit adultery, right?
Mm-hmm.
Probably most of you said. Commit a robbery.
Robbery,
right?
yeah.
Commit arson,
Mm-hmm.
right? Commit a burglary. So it does lend itself to what you're saying, that it is probably a criminal activity, right?
Okay.
How many people think they know about conduct, what the partnership is with conduct? What's the logic behind the partnerships? If you think you know, raise your hand.
Can they type it in the little answer box too?
I would like them to raise their hand first.
Okay.
Okay, Noshir, you're the first one. So in the question box, why don't you write what it is you think the relationship is between conduct
You're
and
on the spot now.
something. Yeah. Don't you wish you didn't raise your hand? No? Okay. How about Linda? Linda's got her hand up. What is the logical relationship between conduct, interaction with others? Okay. That's a pretty good guess, right?
Yep.
Oh, we have a series of events or actions. Maybe. Liz says direct, manage, activity.
Okay.
Wendy says steps in a process, a leader in a process. There we go. I think Heather, I think that's who this is here. I think Heather has actually hit the nail on the head, which is a leader in a process. Nice. Yes, another chunk of language.
Sorry.
Yeah, that's right. Conduct is actually because there's a leader involved. Okay, let's try perform. Anybody want to give perform a try? What's the relationship with perform and the objects? You can raise your hand or you can type it in there if you want to. Being watched, Siri says. Visual manifestation, says Linda. Entertain people, says Leo. Do in front of others, says Liz. Presentation with an audience, again, from Heather. Showing a skill, from Noshir. I think we have pretty much the right idea. Yeah. Performance is something that is done with witnesses. Generally, an audience is there. So good job. And the last one is cause. In the question box, again, tell me what you think. What is the logical relationship with cause? Liz says to make happen. Okay, sounds logical. Siri says make happen. There is an effect, says Al. Al Snowball, I think your name is, right? It's a very interesting name, Al. Natalia says result, right? Joan says a negative effect. Okay, I think all of you are on the right track. Cause, of course, is something that results in a result. So here we are. Commit goes together with crimes, right? Conduct matches with things you lead or have leaders. Perform is partnered with things others witness, like with an audience. And cause is matched with results of actions. So good job. Well done.